Hi, I was asked to show how I go about determining what pattern I'm going to quilt a quilt with and what color thread I'm going to use. So as follows is going to be a little short tutorial, at least I think it's pretty short, in regards to two different quilt types. The first one is an edge-to-edge design with no borders. And what an edge-to-edge design means, it goes all the way, the design goes all the way from the left side of the quilt over to the right side of the quilt. So it's a continuous pattern all over the quilt. The second quilt that I'm going to show you is actually a custom quilt. So what's happening in the custom quilt is each block is quilted with a quilt pattern. The one I'm going to show you actually has two different patterns. So every other block has got a different design, and that one has a border all the way around it. So those are the two quilts that I'm going to show you how I go about deciding the quilting pattern and the quilting thread. So I hope you enjoy. Hey everybody, this is Margaret. I have been asked by a couple of viewers to show how I go about making the decision of what it is that I'm going to quilt on a quilt. So what I'm going to do is over the next few days, every time I decide the quilt versus the customer decides the quilt, I will show you what I've decided to do and explain to you how I came up with my decision. So this is the quilt that I'm going to quilt next. And the customer for this one has given me a couple of guidelines. I usually ask simple questions like, do you like it tightly quilted? Is there a color that you absolutely do not like? And do you have any ideas of how you would like it quilted? And when they come back and tell me I can do whatever I want to do and they have no decision, I then ask what the quilt's for. This quilt is actually a shop sample for a quilt shop. And the quilt shop does have a Gamma Statler Stitcher long arm, and the same that I have. And what they have asked me to do on this quilt is to quilt it any way I want to, but they do ask that I try to do something outside of the box that you wouldn't normally do, because they like to bring attention to new techniques. And they also ask if I can use one of the newer patterns. Every month, both they and I get brand new patterns from a designer that work on our Gamma Statler. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at threads. So I've narrowed down to a couple of different threads, and I'm going to put them down. What I do is I pull out quite a long length of it, and I lay it across the quilt because I want to see how it looks in all different areas of the quilt. So there's one of them. Here is another one. And then I'm going to also grab a green because I'd like to see what a variegated green would look like on this quilt. So here, because there's a lot of green in it. So here's the green. Now, I think you can see all the different colors. At this point, I have a real toss-up. The green is too simple for me. You've got a lot of really bold, bright colors here, and so I really don't want to go with the green. The green just, I don't know, to me it says it's expected, and I really want to try to do a little bit more of the unexpected. So it leads me to these two colors. Now, I really do like this one. It's actually called Autumn Days. I do like that one a lot. It has all of the different colors in there. But again, it's kind of expected. And they really like the colors to pop. And so with this one, I'm actually going to go with this color, which is called Cinnaberry. There's a lot of the color here. I'm going to move this over so that you can see it against there. Doesn't that look pretty? It has this color throughout the quilt a lot. So this is the color that I'm going to go with. I wonder if the camera, especially over in here, look at this. Isn't this beautiful there? So that's the color I'm going to go with. My next decision is the quilting pattern. Now, how I come up with the quilting pattern is I actually look at the designs on the fabric and I go from there. So, in this instance, I am going to go through my book, and this is my, let's see if I can get it over here. This is my book with my patterns in it. There's quite a few of them here. And this is the one I have already decided on. And how I came up to the decision of this one is based on, and I'll show you the block, or the fabric, is based on this design. I like the circles and the swirliness of it. This is a batik, so it has a lot of different designs within the quilt pattern. So I really liked that one. I see it mimicked here quite a bit. So that's the one I'm going to go with. I have quilted the first 2 rows, and I wanted to show you kind of what it looks like. I think it's really pretty. I really like the way the design is subtly showing up. It's not real in your face, but you can definitely pick out the pattern, where I think if I had gone with the autumn days, because so much of the color blended with the fabric, I don't think you would have seen it. So there's the quilt. And when it's all done, I will take a picture of the back and show that to you. All right, this is the back. And I do really like the way it turned out. One of the things that I like the most about this pattern, I'm going to try to zoom in on it and show you, is right here is where the pattern ended. And because the designer of the quilting pattern brought the end right back to one of the circles, you don't have that tail afterwards that really shows the tie-offs. So I did really like that about it. I'm back with another quilt. I'm trying to pick out the colors for this one. This is just a small wall hanging. And the customer has said that she doesn't like this plain block. She thinks that this block needs something to jazz it up. She just thinks it's too plain. So what I'm going to do is, I think it's nicely pieced together. The corners, they look really nice and straight. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put a design in each one of these blocks. And these are my thread choices. I've got this brown one. And what's going to happen on the brown one is you're not really going to see the design here, but you will especially on these parts of the blocks, you're really going to see it. And I hope you can see that. I'll put it up to this block. This is another one of my choices. It's got that blue in it. And then I could go a solid one, which I really don't like the solid one, so I'm going to take that one away right away. And this is my next choice. This one actually seems to have all of the colors. It's got a little bit of blue, a dark blue, and a silvery blue. So it seems to have all of it in there. I'm going to lay it across this brown block. I like the brown. If the customer wanted the designing of the quilting to show up on this block, I probably would go ahead with the brown, but she wants something done to make this block stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to go with this one. Once I start quilting it, I'll let you see what it really looks like, because I think it's going to really pop nicely on that one. So I'll be back in just a minute. I'm back, and this quilt is all done. I'm going to try to give you a good look at the front first. And I think it came out really nice. I think it's a nice mixture of colors in the thread and the colors in the quilt. I like the way it turned out. So there's the front. And I'm going to pause for just a minute and then I'll turn it over and show you the back. Alright, here's the back. You can see a little bit of the thread, but the back is so busy that you really can't see much of it. One tip that I have for you is that if you want your quilting to show up on the back, you really need to do more of a fabric that reads solid. This one doesn't read solid by any means. It's pretty busy on the back. So there's the back. I'm going to turn it over one more time. And I have a couple tips for on the front. Alright, I'm back. This is obviously the front of the quilt again. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about is whether or not you're going to custom quilt your quilt, or if you're going to do what's called an edge-to-edge design or an edge-to-edge design with borders. It doesn't matter really which one you do. They all can look really nice. What you want to do is just make certain that you've picked out a pattern that you really like and thread colors that look nice with your quilt. And just talk openly and honestly with your long armer about what you're looking to do. This is going to be a wall hanging, so I think it really is nice that it's custom quilted, because it will be on the wall in somebody's home, and I just think it looks really, really nice this way. Plus, the quilter of this did a really nice job of piecing it, so the quilting really does show off the nice piecing job that was done. So that's the quilt. Hi there. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to put a comment below. I do read all of your comments and I do reply to them. I'd also like to know what you guys would like to do next. We've got a couple different options with jelly rolls, and I love to design different quilts with jelly rolls. They're quick, easy, fun. They're just great things to work with. So what I've got is I've already got a pattern in mind, and it's one of my patterns. It's not anyone else's to my knowledge. And what our choices are is I've got two sets of jelly rolls that I showed you the other day. This is the first one. This would be the background material, and then this obviously is the jelly roll with all the different colors. I'm going to call this the flower jelly roll. That's our first option. And our second option is, I'm going to spread it out a little bit better so that you can really see it. Our second option I'm going to call Christmas. So it's this flower Christmas fabric that I showed you the other day, and then all of these great Christmassy prints from, I think this was a Kate Spade design. So either Christmas or flowers. Leave a comment below as to which one you'd like to see me do, and we'll get started on this project next week. Thank you so much for joining me, and please make sure you subscribe and tell your friends all about me. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.